is an IP address? It's something that's spoken about fairly regularly. It's a reasonably common terminology, IP address. But what actually is it? Well, in simple terms, it's like a digital identification card. Your computer's got one, your tablet's got one, your laptop, your desktop, they've all got IP addresses. Anything that connects to the internet has its very own digital identification card. Why do we need one? How does it work? Well, let's think of it a little bit like an address. So you've got an address, it's your house number, your street, your area code. It's all information on how to get things to you. Well, your IP address is kind of the same, but we're not using house numbers and streets and area codes. We're using a series of numbers separated by periods in order to get that same address. Think of it like a GPS coordinate for the internet. I'm James, this is WPBeginner, and do remember to like the video and get subscribed so you pick up all of our videos no matter what your level from beginner to advanced. But you don't just have one IP address, you've got two. You have a public and a private IP address. Your private IP address is like your home. You go back to your house, your address, but it's within a gated community and it's only for you and your private network. Then you have your public address, which is the one that everybody in the whole wide world can see and use. So if these IP addresses, these strings of numbers, are the addresses, why don't we enter those to navigate to websites? Well, that's because remembering a whole string of numbers is both very difficult and not a lot of fun, frankly. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use the domain name system, www.wpbeginner.com. Far easier to remember and far more effective. You may also notice that your own personal IP address changes up from time to time, and that's mainly due to making it easier for service providers. However, websites, they stay static, they stay the same, and they do not change, so that you have a fixed location you can get to. Imagine trying to type in a name for a website and it's moving all over the place. It wouldn't really be much help to you at all. And finally, just to cover off IP addresses on the whole, we've got IPv4 and IPv6. The only real difference here is that 4 offers a certain number of IP addresses to be used. It's around 4 billion. But as the web expands, 4 billion IP addresses doesn't really seem like enough. So then we have IPv6. And what this has done is it's extended what an IP address can do, the numbers of IP addresses that we can have, and we're looking at about 340 trillion available IP addresses now. Obviously, it's one thing to have your IP address, it's an entirely different one to have a web address for your website and a domain name. Well, if you do need a domain name, then make sure you click this video right here, which will help you choose the best place to get one.